Okay, I've had some requests, some folks asking questions about when you open up a paint kit and everything is all one unit and you can't select anything other than the whole thing, what to do. So I thought I'd do a quick little video on that. I'm going to use Got Friends little mini helicopter, the Mini 500. I've already got the paint kit up. This paint kit is by 270 Inc. And let me open it up here real quick. I'm going to go into the Blender file and just double click on the paint kit. So now the paint kit comes up, and if you'll notice, I've got this big old circle here, which means that everything here is just one thing. I can't select an individual. If I click on it, you'll notice it like paints it. So I'm going to Control Z out of that because I don't want it painted. I'd like to, I'm moving around here, I'd like to go in and do paint individual things on here. Some people are just happy painting the body, and that's this paint kit, or these paint kits are designed to be as hassle-free and as simple as they can get it, and they're fantastic paint kits. But if you want to delve in a little deeper detail and paint things, or maybe instead of a chrome door handle you want just to be black or something, or you want to change to make a older looking tailpipe or something of that nature, it's hard to do the way this is set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, and right now we're in layout mode, and this is usually where you select parts that you want to paint, and then you go into texture paint. As you'll see here, I've just got the UVs showing on our model, and if I go over here and I click on the albedo right over here on the right, the actual texture plate comes up, and you see all these lines and stuff. That is the UV maps. So what you can do is go right up here to where it says overlays and where it says display texture, and you can click off that. If you don't know that, that will give you just the texture plate. So now if I go paint, I'm in white. Let's just for the heck of it, I'll go here and come across here. It's going to be real slow because all this stuff is kind of linked together. Also depends on the power that you have on your computer. But now you see it's turning up and painted, and it's set up to paint these individual items. If I was to click right here, you also notice that everything here gets painted. Anyway, so at this stage, I'm just going to back out of here, Control Z a couple of times, get out of this. I didn't save my image file, so I'm going to exit, or let's just start with a clean shot. Don't save anything. I'll restart it. That's the easiest and quickest way. I usually have a couple of these up so that I can, if I mess it up, I can go start it all over, or at least save the image and move it over to another plate and start working on it. So anyways, I'm in layout mode. I'm going to go over here to modeling. Alright, you'll notice everything is orange. That's because everything is currently selected except for the landing gear. That's in a separate setup apparently. Anyways, if I want to separate this stuff, if I go up here to where I want to make sure that I'm in edit mode, look up in the upper left hand corner, little window up here, it says edit mode. You can go to object mode or edit mode or different modes here, but make sure that it's in edit mode. And when it's in edit mode, go to anywhere's on the screen. First of all, I'm going to select all and everything. Make sure that everything is selected. I'm going to right click. This menu is going to come up, and I'm going to go down here to separate, and see it gives you two options. One is by material and one is by loose parts. Let's try material first. I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to go back into my layout. Now if you notice, instead of having the circle up here for painting, I've got an arrow, which means I can select parts. It's still grouped, but now I can select the landing gear, and I can go into texture paint, and my UVs will show up on now I'm getting the landing gear plate. If I get rid of the UVs, and I could just go now, and if I wanted to paint the landing gear, see, I can paint the landing gear. But it's still, that landing gear is all grouped. Instead of having individual parts, it's all grouped into one shot. So I'm going to Control Z and back out of this. Back out of it completely. And I'm going to go back to the layout. Okay. Let's start over again, because I don't know if I've gotten all the way. Yeah, there we go. Now we're fully back. Because I've got my circle, which indicates I'm set up for a brush. So all this is back together. I'm going to go back into modeling. Again, make sure I'm in edit mode. I've selected all. Okay. See, select all. Then I'm going to right click. I'm going to go down here to separate. Now I'm going to select loose parts. Now you see it looks different. That's because all these individual stuff now is accessible. So now I'm going to go back into layout, click off on the screen. Now I can zoom in. I can click on the individual door handle. I can click on the landing gear. This landing gear is still grouped. I can go back into modeling. Make sure I select all. Make sure I'm in edit mode. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to separate by loose parts. Again, now it looks different. You see where all the highlights are at. So I'm accessible to all the individual parts on this. So I go back into layout. Now I can select one leg, or I can select the runners, or the tips of the lights. Whatever I want to select and go in and paint, I can go and do that. I also ungrouped everything here, so now I got the fuselage. Okay, I have the handle. I've got all the individual parts of the frame around the windscreen. Let's see, the tail, all the tail pieces, individual tail pieces. So if I want to paint all this stuff differently, I can do that. All right. There's a way to go back and regroup this. I'll save that to a different folder. Most people, when they ungroup things, they just leave it that way so they can go back in and paint with it. But I'm hoping that helps some folks that are having problems. Enjoy happy painting. Adios, amigos.